above the 200 SMA, then it tends to go higher, and I'll show you examples of that. Um, but on this part of the Wyckoff wave or the phase, after it consolidates, you will see with Nordstrom's how it looks just like this, and the possibility of what Nordstrom's can do, with the upcoming earnings of other players in the retail space. So that's that. And then I usually this is like a Buddhist actually quote, right, or mindset, where they say it's like many in body, one in mind. So it's like we collectively come together and we try to bring all of our ideas, all of our attention to creating wealth amongst us all. So if we have that mindset throughout the whole discussion, then it's easier just to be able to move forward and be able to find stocks that actually will do good for us, right? So with that being said, let's go to the actual stock chart. Well, hold on. Actually, I didn't go over earnings. There are some earnings that we should actually look at. Let's look at that. Yes. Because McDonald's is coming out with earnings this week. I think on Wednesday or Thursday, actually Thursday. And so is Apple. Apple's coming out with earnings on Wednesday after the close. So, right now, Apple is already at breakout levels, right? And we're going to see how the influence of earnings will move not just the food industry, because we see that Starbucks is also will also report their earnings, other than McDonald's and then McCormick. There's a lot of like food that's going to be moving around this week. We just left the banking. We just left everyone who was all the banks. So J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, they gave off their bank earnings. They gave positive reviews, even though some of their prices pulled back after the release of the earnings. So we're on the tail end where we still have some like community bank systems, FRBK. I don't remember the whole name, but I know that they deal with Bank of Hawaii, and then Bank of Marin. So I know that and, there's a couple more, but banks will start to tail off this week. So as we're going on towards the rest of this earnings week, we have, like I said, we have a lot of this stuff in the food industry. But one thing that I'm really, really looking forward to seeing is in the vaccine space. I don't want to get too enthralled in the vaccine space because get overwhelmed in the conversation if vaccines are good or bad. But Johnson and Johnson will be reporting earnings on Tuesday. Now, Johnson and Johnson, which has a manufacturing that is, like on the same level as Apple, really, where anything that you pretty much would get that is required in some type of cleaning or health wise is usually related to Johnson and Johnson. If you want to clean a wound that's on your arm, you get a cotton swab, you get an alcohol wipe, you get a Band-Aid, which they have trademarked. Like there's so many things that's under Johnson and Johnson that I can only see them being a strong manufacturer and distributor of vaccines. So they might influence how biotech and the whole vaccine space move. And then Abbott Pharmaceuticals the very next day, that Wednesday, along with Anthem. So, if we're looking at foods, we should also look at healthcare. So this is what I would typically do when, trying to look and see what industries will be moving for the week. If there are multiple companies in the same industry, then we know that that can typically move the market. It was just like how the earnings of electric vehicles for NIO, XPEV, NIU, and of course Tesla, like GP, like one stock did well, then all the other ones also did well because it just was like a strong catalyst that helped propel the each stock throughout the market. So even though I went through this whole spiel about what stocks are actually moving for the earnings and which ones to look at, you know, we want to make sure that we put it into some type of focus. Like, okay, well, if I'm looking at these companies that are in these sectors, like how do I even figure out what is what and where to go to? So let's say that we wanted to invest in Starbucks, right? So Starbucks, they're coming out with earnings on Tuesday after the market. Now, I'm not a big fan of buying stocks before earnings, but just to give a prediction or give it a sense of what and how the stock market can move. And I know Davin is familiar with this, but I'm trying to bring my cousin up to speed, Davin. So like, just bear
Yeah,
with.
no, yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when it comes to Starbucks, so we see that it's like long-term chart. That's the very first thing we want to bring it to is long-term chart. What has it been doing over time? And we see that after the market has, when the market crashed back in March, it was trading below the 200 SMA. This is something that I mentioned that I mentioned earlier in the PowerPoint, right, with the Wyckoff, right? So we see that it came down, just like in the Wyckoff, and it started to trade below the 200 SMA. And it consolidated as it was trading below the 200 SMA until it crossed over the 200 SMA. Once it crossed over the 200 SMA, then it has more exponential chance of going higher. Right? These are the type of stocks that you want to look for, especially when they start to cross over the 200 SMA. Yeah, you can always buy it at the bottom and bet that it can go to the 200 SMA. That's a given. But well, we don't know if it will get rejected. With Starbucks is not one of those companies that will fail. Is definitely that's going to be one company that would go higher. So it being rejected by the 200 SMA, which typically happens when a stock chart is trading over a long period of time, if it's trading towards the 200 SMA, bounces off of that, with a strong company like this, it can always retest that 200 SMA to break up and go higher, right? So that's why the 200 SMA is a good indicator to use to see the direction of a stock. Now, if we're looking now, like I said, we're looking at Starbucks and before their earnings. So what I'm going to do is start to zoom in a little bit to get a little bit closer. And this is from back in mid October. And from mid-October, like we know, it was trading above the 200 SMA. But I also used two other moving averages, right? So these two moving average, the green line is the 5 exponential moving average, or 5-day exponential moving average. And then this teal line is the 20-day exponential moving average, right? So when the stock is trading above the green 5 exponential moving average, it tends to go higher, right? Until it becomes overbought at some point or another. That's what was starting to happen over here. It was starting to get overbought. And when it goes to overbought, it wants to pull back because there's the market shares for this stock has become too much of buying. And now there's like market participants that want to push the stock price down, right? I try to compare it to like you going to two different stores to look for one pair of shoes, and you go to one store and you see that they sell your Nike shoes for $50, and then you go to another store and you see that they're selling your shoes for $70. Right? So they're going to try to keep the price between the 50 and the 70, but maybe they'll keep it at an average price of 60, but somewhere in there you're in a range. That's what happens with these waves in the stock price. They're always in a range. These stocks will always stay in a range. So it's when Starbucks was trading above $100, it is steadily traded above $100, and it would probably maintain a range between $100 and $105 a share. The stock prices love whole numbers, like the $5, $10, $15, $20. It loves those whole. This is like a psychological price for some odd reason. People love whole numbers. But if you were to play this stock before earnings, which is risky as all hell, I never ever suggest, right? But we see that if they didn't have earnings and the stock was just continuing to trade, it would probably continue to trade sideways because it already created a new high. Once it creates this new high and it pulls back, like I said before, because it's overbought, we have to, and Tanisha, I'm sorry, I know I didn't tell you the other indicators that are here because you're probably looking at this like computer music.
I remember it from that one call that I got on, but I know it's like putting it all together is like I have to listen. So that's why I'm so quiet.
None, I get it. So like you have, like I said, you have the moving averages.
Oh, I do want to say something happened to the audio. It got quieter. Is
Oh, it
that
did.
on your end too?
It did.
Yeah, I don't
I,
know.
I can still hear. I don't know. Maybe it's something.
I did get a call and then it did that. Maybe I should leave and come back. Let me see.
Hmm, I don't know, but Davin, essentially when it comes to like Starbucks, essentially, uh,
Mhm.
like I believe that it can go up. I know it could go higher, but I'm not the one that would buy in before earnings just because, they could still come out with bad earnings, even though that they're trading in a range. But the biggest things that I try to look at is lining up the MACD, the RSI, um, the volume, of course. The volume is kind of like a no-brainer. But this TTM squeeze, this TTM squeeze has been pretty much a big, big indicator um, for me in the direction of stock momentum and movement.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. It's bad.
so with the TTM squeeze and you line everything up, um, I if they didn't have earnings coming up this week, this being Starbucks, I would believe that the stock price would retest this $102 area and then retest $100 um, just to test the range that it's in because it has created a new high. Once
Right.
stock creates a new high, it tends to come back to the 20 SMA. And then once it shows that it can hold support like it did right here in the 101 area, then it's going to try to retest its previous high, which was 105. Um, but here with the MACD, it still shows that there's some selling off and that that there was selling volume back on Friday and Thursday. And then the TTM squeeze is showing that not the this X axis with all the red dots, it shows that there's consolidation, but it also shows that it's selling downward. So the price could still pull back and go down and causing the price to retest 101 $100 a share before earnings. So I'm very cautious. Like I don't have an idea of what the expectations might be. Um, let's see what the no no because
And
there's no
so I have a
expectation.
question.
What's up?
Is what your like the way that you assess that, is that because of the way that things have been, like you said, over a long period of time, or is it like um was kind of asking the same thing. Is it because that stock typically stays in one range and that's how you're able to predict that it's going to bounce up and down, or is it like um because of the past year's trend?
What? Yes, it's a combination of the two. So this is like a multi-layered type of analysis, right?
Okay.
So when you see a stock and it's trading near its all-time high, you want to see where it was before in its past, right? So
Mhm.
that's why I zoom back out. In its past, before a previous high, before this past December, right? It's previous, and each candlestick represents one day, just to let you know, right? But
Okay.
the previous high it had was back in July of 2019. No, was yeah 2019, July 30th, and it was at $100. Um, So that's over here. So what I'll do is I'll draw like a resistance line, because now I know where the all-time high was before in the past,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's what you want. It's like, what is their characteristics? Like, what did they do before? As far as price action.
Is this an
So
app that you're using?
yes, this is the Thinkorswim app, the one that's free.
Okay. As soon as you started saying that, then the dog started barking. Sorry.
Of course.
Haters.
No, but this is the Thinkorswim app. It's free. Uh,
Okay.
it has all the tools you need and customer assistance.
Okay.
Um, anything that you want to, even if you want to test a strategy on what you want to buy or what have you, you can still ask them and they will like walk you through it, which is pretty dope.
So like gives you like a test run, like practice runs type thing.
Yeah, this also has the platform also has paper trading, so you can practice trading first before
Mm.
actually investing your real money. I like doing that quite often, where I can test out like my strategies and say, okay, well, it trades a certain volume of shares each day, and it only has a certain amount of shares available, in its float meaning the amount of shares that the stock has readily available to trade on the stock market for the days, right? um, you start putting those things together and you say, okay, well, maybe I can get into this, but let me check with one of the operators behind Thinkorswim, and maybe they can help me understand my choices, right? So
Mm.
that's always good. But that's the thing, is like when you try to find that range, you're looking for the previous resistance, the previous high.
Mm-hmm.
Once you find that previous high, which was resistance, it now becomes support. So remember, like I said with the Nike shoe, you go to one place it's $50, you go to another place it's $70. Like now, the people were seeing it at $50 and they bought it all up at $50. That's right here, right? They bought up all the shoes at $50. Now the shoe is at $70. That's up here now,
Got you.
right? So now it's like, oh damn, they made all the supply of all my sneakers, but this is Starbucks. I know I'm saying sneakers, but
Mm-hmm.
this is Starbucks, right? So all of my cold brew is right here. This is the demand for cold brew, and they done bought it all up now, right? So my supply of cold brew is right here at $100,
Mm.
and now there's supply, and we don't know how much supply there is, because this can be infinite, right? We would need to make more cold brew and throw a whole bunch more cold brew into the market, so we'll have more supply, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then that will cause the demand to possibly go higher and then create more of upside. Or
I
if it's
see.
too much, like they just liquidate it and say, you know what, we're going to flood the markets with cold brew, so much so that they're tired of it, that it could push the price down. Right. So this is where people have tough times on when to sell, right? Because they said, well, I got in, let's say that you got in here at the $101. You saw that the cold brew is now at $100, and you say, you know what, I'm just going to buy slightly above $100 at 101, right? So you see that you're up because now the stock price is at $103. So what happens is that people will have a tough time of trying to understand when to actually sell. I do too. Like, I'm not impervious to this. Like, we all are. Like, we allow our emotions to get involved in a lot. And I'm going to show you some stocks that I missed out on because I allowed my emotions. I probably missed out on $2,000 this past week just because I allowed my emotions to get involved in the actual trade. But at the same time, when you let the technicals do what they do and tell you that, hey, maybe if the MACD crosses and you have this teal line cross above this tan line, and then this RSI, which the MACD indicates momentum, right? So that means that the selling momentum would decrease and then become buying momentum. The relative strength, which shows the relative strength that shows that that the stock is not overbought yet, is trading sideways, right? So it hasn't curled up to show that, hey, yeah, it can be overbought. Because if it goes this way, that means it's going to go higher in price. If this turns up and the RSI turns up, and then the TTM squeeze starts to turn from these histograms being red to yellow, then to then to blue, like how it did back here. If you look back here, how it consolidated, and then once it turned yellow, the histograms continued to get smaller until it became teal. If we allow the technicals to do their part and show us when to actually sell, maybe you can sell now you can sell the stock when it does become overbought. Maybe you sell over here because you said, you know what, it's overbought. Even though the histograms are telling me that it's coming down, maybe I should probably sell here because this TTM squeeze has been at its all-time peak. The day after it started to decrease, I don't want it to come back down. Maybe I'll just take my profits here, right? And people use the TTM squeeze because not only did the histogram turn a darker blue, but it started to cross down on the MACD. And when it starts to cross on the MACD, typically it will continue to go down further in price. But because Starbucks is such a big market cap type of a stock, the strength of it is going to allow it to trade sideways. So it's hard. So yeah, so it's like I said, it's a multi-layered like analysis, but it's not hard. You just have to allow the technicals to do what they want to do, which is move the price in the direction or the volatility that it wants. And then you have the price point saying where you want to get out of. So remember, we got in at 101, and then we say, okay, if it goes, we're seeing weakness here. We're seeing the opening here, and we're not sure if it's going to turn up. Even though this is despite if they have earnings coming out this week or not. This is if they didn't. If they have earnings, you're seeing all of these like downside turns. Maybe that 101 to 103 that it's at, maybe you just take the $2 a share and say, you know what, maybe I'll wait for it to come down lower because they come out with bad earnings or something. Or maybe I'll just take my risks now and then wait for it to settle, and then maybe I get into the stock when they release their earnings and I can see that the direction is positive, and now I can ride the wave for a couple of days. But that's the thing. Getting in on a stock before earnings is always risky. So that's why I never ever say, you get in now. But
Got you.
after they
But
release
with a
that
company,
earnings, then you can make the decision. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, I just wanted to know with a company like Starbucks though, does that make the risk less?
I feel
Would
like
you say?
yes, I feel like this was a stock. I told one of my friends to put it in their portfolio. They did that with this and JMIA, and once it was at $80, that was the best price to get in at, and that's where she got in at, and she's been holding everything. So if you were in already, I would say this is a good hold. This hold it, allow earnings to do what it does. If it does pull back, then you buy more shares, because this stock is one of those stocks, like you said, that's less risky and can go up higher. It's Starbucks. Who doesn't like their cold brew? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, on the corner of every street in New York. Like, I thought we had a lot of Starbucks. Y'all definitely have it everywhere.
Everywhere. So I know some people just joined in on the chat. Thank you, Nick and Fitz, for jumping on in. These two gentlemen also have some experience trading, and they always like to share their war stories when it comes to some of these stocks. But, you know, I want to actually share, because, you know, Fitz is probably going to laugh when I share this one, but we had Palantir this past week, and Palantir, in the last call, Fitz was saying buy this stock, and I believed him too. I bought this stock, and then when I bought it, it was starting to do well. I bought it on the 19th. Hold on, let me make sure I get the exact date that I bought it, because Fitz is, I know Fitz is, he's probably like laughing and shaking his head right now. Yeah, I bought it on the 19th. Right, I'll see if I can pull up the contract. And when I bought it, I said, "Oh, okay, it's going to go higher." I bought it in the morning, around 9:50, and I mean, it was consolidating, right? And like I said before, when we were going over the Wyckoff method with the whole consolidation, I don't know if you remember. Maybe let me just re-show that one more time so we can get an idea. This is how patterns really work. Remember this Wyckoff method here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like once it finds its all-time high, it consolidates, right? That's what Starbucks is doing, and then it might pull back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have that, right? So now, if we look at Palantir, after it made its all-time high, it came down, started consolidating. And where did it consolidate? Even though this chart is an hour chart, the hour chart is just a different time frame than the day chart. On this time frame, still, if the stock is trading above the 200 SMA, it will go higher. As we can see, you know, trading, the red line is the 200 SMA, went higher. After it went high, came to retest the 200 SMA, which it technically, that's what typically happens after an all-time high is made. It wants to test the 200 SMA. It tested, trades alongside. So I said, okay, great. Finally, it's hitting a point in which I can get in. Fitz on the 15th, Sunday meeting. He says, hey, you should probably look in again in the Palantir. Great. The 19th, I get in. I say, you know what? This is looking good. It started to trend down on me. So if we zoom in, this is where I was talking about with emotions, right? Because even though I got in, oh, that's the 15th. When I got in on this candlestick here, it started to pull back, right? And I said, oh, I just pull back a little bit. Then it started to pull back some more the next day. I said, oh, okay. I'm still in my third eye's mind saying I'm going to hold this. Next day, pulls back more. I said, you know what? I'm gooch. I'm getting out. One thing I did not like really take into consideration is if it was retesting the 200 SMA on the hour chart, because I was so caught up on the minute by minute, that I lost focus of the long term, right? Where yes, it's pulling back. It wants to retest the 200 SMA, but at the same time, once it retested and you have your moving averages coming together, most times it can spike up like this. So I sold this hour. Next day, this is Friday, it does this move, right? So, and if you follow the TTM squeeze as well, you know, it kind of shows that there's just nothing but consolidation going sideways, right? So yes, this was roughly $250 loss, and I made it up on FUBO and WWE, but it's still
Really?
huh?
I said FUBO, really?
No, FUBO.
Oh, I was like, FUBO, do tell. back then?
I would. Hey, man, if they were publicly traded, I'd probably still invest in them. I like Damon John. I like.
Well, I've heard that Blackberry is making a comeback.
Well, that's not a herd. That's the actual truth, and
Okay.
that's the actual truth. Actually, one of the guys that was in the talk last week on in crypto, the crypto guy, he was in BlackBerry. He was telling me about BlackBerry, and at the time I was like, I already have other positions. I couldn't really like break those, but as we could tell, it's at $14 a share. I think
Oh,
it's
is it right now? $14 a share?
yeah, it's at $14 a share. It's not as all-time highs, but this is what it's pretty much done since late November. It's just been, and after earnings, it pulled back. See, after earnings, it pulled back. Typically, that's what's been happening. Every time when a company, pulls back on earnings, people just gobbling up shares, and then it goes higher. So that's what happened here in BlackBerry. You see, if you after earnings, you wait for these stocks to release earnings, and you see where they pull back and if they hold that base. It was holding base at $6.50, right? And it's not like this stock was, trading. I think the only thing that they had good in their news was that they had some type of security software. And I'm not sure if it was a Palantir. I didn't really get a chance to like really look into their news, but I did see that the chart was showing that they were going higher and I already missed the run. This is a run. This, when you get in a stock and you look at the RSI, and if this RSI is already red, don't even worry about getting into it. Sometimes, I would say most times, but there might be some people in the chat that would say you can actually play that risk. So like, but I try not to, just because if it's already red, then I know that there's got to be something to bring it back down. I don't know what, but it has to be something, and I don't want to be caught in that something. So if you already get in, get in when the RSI is trading sideways, and it's not turned to a color of red. Maybe if it's blue, if it's down here, maybe it shows that it was oversold somewhere back here. So you can see the difference. So you see how it turns, the RSI turns this teal color back here. Maybe if you buy like in the teal section here, then that might be a little bit better, because it's oversold now. That means that they're in demand. There's a lot of demand. That's supply. No, there's a lot of demand. I'm sorry, for this share, right? For the shares here. So because that there's so much, it's oversold. People are going to be able to gobble up shares and then ride the wave on up, right? And if you look at the TTM squeeze, you will see that the consolidation is also turning from red to yellow. Then it flips over on the x-axis and starts to turn teal, dark blue teal. And then once you have like these green dots underneath it, maybe it might be time to sell. Like, maybe it did its run, but also it's below the 200 SMA. And this is what I talk about. Like, it can get, when it hits the 200 SMA, the stock price, it can get smacked back down, get rejected. And then once it gets rejected, then it might start trading sideways with the 200 SMA, maybe even come back down and retest the previous lows. So it is a detail. This is like, back in March. So this is like, detailed idea, but it's not really that detailed. It's just so many small little parts that you can put together in order to create a case.
Okay, so quick question. Maybe maybe you said it. Excuse me. Maybe you said it and I missed it. But what does it mean when it flips from the bottom to the top on that last like on the squeeze part?
Okay, so back here, when you're talking about when it flipped, yeah.
To the top, and then it turned a different color, turned to the blue and greens.
All right, so So when you have it on the x-axis here, this typically means that there's a lot of buying, but there's also selling that's happening during that buying consolidation process.
Mm.
So once it starts turning yellow on the histogram, that's when it starts to show that there is some potential that it will come back up to the x-axis, which is now maybe it's going to turn into a positive direction. If you look on the actual stock price chart for BlackBerry, it shows that yeah, it did come from the previous lows, came up higher. Uh, it didn't go too high because it did pull back, but even though it pulled back, the TTM squeeze was showing that the histogram is now above the x-axis. And when that histogram is over the x-axis, as I zoom in, you see that each histogram was starting to get a little bit smaller, right? And if you look at, you line it up with the candlesticks, line it up with the histograms, the RSI, I mean the MACD and the RSI, you start to see that each price is going up. Every time when it turns teal like this, right, it's still consolidating, meaning that people are buying. People are, trying to still sell, but people are buying because the teal, no, cyan, sorry, they call it cyan. The cyan histogram color is still going up because people are still buying. It starts to get a little bit dark blue, right? We think that it might pull back. That's what happened on the candlestick for the stock price. But the very next day is teal. It continued to be teal. So when it crosses over like that, that means there's going to be a change in direction. The MACD already indicated that there was a change in direction when it crossed back here. So when you line it up, using it as a prime example, you see that the histogram it was yellow, it was starting to get smaller in the histogram, and there's also consolidating buying, right? Then you start to say, hey, well, maybe since I already missed my initial buy-in, maybe when this finally flips over and the histogram turns cyan, I can get in there. And then if I get in there and the volume and all the market indications show that it should go higher, then I can hold this because it crossed over the x-axis. So the TTM squeeze is a good indicator to confirm if you should really buy or sell. Now, if you were to hold this underneath the 200 SMA, then you just know that the price will more than likely test the 200 SMA and get rejected. So there's a strategy on that if you buy underneath the 200 SMA, you wait for the price to go up at least 80% from where you purchased from, and then you sell it. There's a strategy on that one, and I think we could probably go over that on another call because that one is really good as well from underneath the 200 SMA. That could be really used on a minute chart, hour chart, or a year chart. So I think that that one is pretty good. Just because it always gets rejected by the 200 SMA, that's why the strategy works that way. But I hope I answered your question on the cross. I think Tanisha got lost.
Oh,
Lost by,
I'm just talking with the phone muted. I was saying, yes, you did explain that pretty well. I just want to make sure, like, I want to repeat it. Well, I think repeat another part of it and just say, so basically what you're saying is that when it's in the yellow, it's like slightly going back up. It's like a good indicator, but like a caution, like type of indicator. But once it's in that, what we'll call cyan color, then that's like a more of a green light.
yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Cool
And
beans. For this
like I said,
specific.
back here would even been a perfect price because it confirmed that change from red to yellow.
And that would have made some good like earnings basically because it was in for quite a bit. Like not this particular stock, but like normally if you see that in the bottom in the TTM squeeze.
Correct.
Got it. I think
Correct.
I'm understanding.
It sounds like it. But like I said, it's a long process. So uh, the price, things will always be there. These stocks will always be available to trade. It's just finding the wave within it. So, like I said before with Nordstrom's, when we're looking at, remember we were looking at that Wyckoff method,
Mm-hmm.
Wyckoff wave, and we see this is the 200 SMA, the red line. The stock, something happened here, something happened. It looks like might have been before earnings. Before, you see, this is why the earnings is a devil sometimes, right? Because you're like, hey, if I was already in this stock, let's say I got in this stock right around here and back in August, and I rode the wave because it had positive earnings, and then their next set of earnings causes the stock to plummet. I'm pretty much mad because I done lost more already from what I got in, but that's no biggie. We
But what
understand
if
that,
you stay in though, because of the fact, like it could go back up?
which it did, and that's what long-term
Mm-hmm.
investors will do, right?
Gotcha. I
They,
see.
they will hold on to these stocks because of something that's in their financial statements, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the one thing, and maybe I should share that with you so you can see that most of us have somewhere where we get all of our information from. I have particularly just one place.
You showed me Finbit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so Finviz is that place. And since I have it up, VVPR, I anticipate going higher. It's a low float stock. I feel like there will be a squeeze sometime this week. I'm not 100% sure if Monday, if not Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. But energy, this is a stock, energy solar power from Great Britain. Does business in Australia, of course, in America, but it's a low flow stock. I like low floats. I think it will go higher, but we'll get to that. But when it comes to like financial information, when you want to find out about a stock, like I like Finviz because I feel like everything is there. If you want to know what the information, yeah, if you want to know what sector it's in, technology. If you want to know what industry it's in, solar. If you want to know where it's from, United Kingdom, right? It tells you what its performance has been, right? Its weekly performance, you see 12% for the month, 90%. And this is, the year just started. So like a lot of this is probably still hyped up. But when I mention like, low float, I'm thinking 7 million shares. That's a low float. Usually low floats spike, um, particularly if they have volume that's trading, near its average. It's trading at 1 million shares.
Mhm.
It only has 7.5 million shares available in its float. The way that the energy sector has been moving, this stock could go higher, but I don't know. I just know that if I were to be in it technically, I would look at the technical chart. But like I said, we're looking at Nordstrom's. So what you want to do is come to this page and you can scroll all the way down and see their income statement, their balance sheet, and their cash flow. All right. So it gives you a chance to really dig into the numbers. So the long-term investors, they might see Nordstrom's and be like, oh, okay, well, they have good numbers. So despite that they did, you know, fail back in, March, like everyone else did, but they did well in their earnings back in August. I am going to hold this and allow it to consolidate like the Wyckoff method said it does, right?
Mhm.
Consolidate it in the range. Then once it crosses over the 200 SMA, it's going to go higher.
Got you.
Right. So that's why understanding that range, like when you're able to identify the support price and then the resistance price, finding that range and trying to find the lowest part of the range, it will be better for you so that you can hold a lot of these stock long term and don't have to worry about it. Right. Because that's what that's what these stocks do. They do this. This pattern is consistent. Um,
Gotcha.
I know I said a mouthful, but does anyone have any questions that or stocks that they want to look at? What was it? VRPP? What was my stock? Does anyone have any questions or any comments that they want to ask, bring up, talk about things?
Can I ask about Appian? Do you know about them?
Appian?
APPIAN. I was suggested them by the Motley Fool.
What do you know what their ticker symbol? What it said for their ticker symbol? You said
Let me look it up.
Appian? Athena?
Appian. Mm-hmm.
Athena?
I'm not even sure how you pronounce it.
Appian,
I'm being
Appian,
honest.
Appian.
But I've made money on it though. Yes, APPN. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That one was a good one too. Yes. That one
I'm
was
trying to put, I got Disney and I got that. That's all I got.
that's good.
Trying to do long-term, stuff.
Yeah,
Because I
AP.
got in so late with
This
investing.
one's going to go higher, definitely.
So
that
I need to refresh myself with what it is. Oh, it's technology. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's exactly how I started the combo. Like, yo, technology is going to run society. That's just how it's going to be. Like we have no real qualms in it. That's just the nature of how everything is going to be. But APPN, like when we just went over like all the technicals, right? We see that on the MACD across here. We see on the moving averages, the exponential moving average is above the 5 exponential moving average is above the 20 simple moving average. The RSI is just coming to be overbought. You're already in it, right? So we already know since you're in it, it's going to retest this previous high. It was going to retest the previous high because whether you were in it or not. So, I'm trying to make you feel special, but yeah, it's going to do it regardless of the fact. So because it's going to do it, the TTM squeeze went from red to now green. The next candlestick is going to be green. And it's probably going to repeat what it did back here. So you're going to have multiple days to have this stock. Now, where would you want to sell it? I don't even know if this would be a stock to even sell. APPN as a technology stock. Can't remember if they're in what industry they're in technology.
Okay, so I guess my other question to follow that would be like
that's right.
Software. Okay. That enables organization. Okay, you probably just read that. But so like what industry would you say is better to buy if you wanted to like make withdrawals from like on a monthly basis or even bi-weekly basis?
Withdrawals from your like trading account?
Yeah.
I would say like if you want to use the stock market as a way to have daily spending funds, I think that Robinhood is probably one of the better ones that allow you to do that, in part because not only can you use the app to make trades really quick and simply, but at the same time, the actual app is a digital card. So if you sign up to get a digital card, you can use your app to scan at kiosks as if you had Apple Pay or anything like that. And so
And they have a card.
that one's really good.
Oh, you said they have a kiosk and they have a card. Okay,
They have
cool.
a card as well, like a plastic.
Correct.
What do you think about Acorns? Do you think it's like inferior to Robinhood or?
No, so like I think that was Davin who said it. He said that the Robinhood also has a card itself. So like you can use not just the card, but you can also use the digital. I can use both. I use both actually, but the card.
You mean like No, I mean like I don't know if you heard me, but do you think that Acorns is a good app or no?
I heard you. I just wanted to make sure I clarified what was said before. So
Oh
yes.
yeah, I heard him about the card.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
People
So-
love Acorn. Like, and you can learn a lot, I think. Like, if you're just learning, it's going to show you stuff, and people make money on it for sure. As an investment tool, it's like a no-brainer to just let go of your change, to let it take care of itself.
Facts. That sounds like James. What's
That's
up?
James. Yeah. Hey, I jumped in here.
Taking his credit.
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up? I'm good. I learned about a new platform I'm really interested in called TradeStation.
Oh yes, you just find out about trade.
I'm just finding out about it. Has anyone used it?
Not at all.
No.
It looks really good also because they do crypto, but it's real crypto trading. You have a wallet and, you know, they have nice tools for both desktop and mobile.
Oh wow.
So it's basically like the hybrid of Webull and Robinhood with real crypto and trading, and it looks really nice. I'm thinking about using them.
So now TradeStation, what's the startup? Cause I know it's not like Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is 10 G's to open up the account.
Oh, I think it's 2. I think 2 is the basic. I think they have different tiers. But it starts out, you don't need a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are different tiers, and that will change certain aspects of it.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what's it called?
TradeStation is not a new state. It's not a new broker. Those are one of the older ones.
Yeah.
It's almost like TD Ameritrade. They're well advanced.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But they're really innovating and making it like accessible. So yeah, 2,000 is the minimum. Oh no, there's one with free. Doesn't matter.
Oh, TradeStation does have a free.
Yeah, they have a free version called TS Go. But most of all their trades are basically commission free, unless you have like, you know, the $1 million in your account and you're doing very big volumes.
Like future contracts and stuff.
For futures and all that. Yeah.
They do futures. They do a lot of.
Have
That's one
you
of the
used
main things.
Yeah, it looks pretty well. I know you guys are I know it's sink or swim, but I have a new account and I want to set up, and I was thinking about them.
No, I Thinkorswim is not the only.
Not your main.
No,
I thought it was
that's
your main go-to.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's my main. That's my main.
So I don't know what the benefit of having, I mean, there's excellent research and swim, but this one has some good tools from what I've discovered. But the big one for me is the crypto trading.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I know Tanisha will have questions about crypto because she definitely likes it, but you know, like
Oh, the crypto guy is on?
correct.
Or someone else?
James is here, yeah.
James.
But what do you? I guess I don't know if you guys talked about Neo, but is it just all uphill from here?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I'm not throwing that away. I have
Yeah.
too much invested, but it's just.
Yeah, I still think it's going to retest its highs, and it's crazy because I wanted to open up a position, but I couldn't.
Oh no.
Between that and CCIV, I was like, I was already, you try not to overextend on your capital, right? So you still want to make sure that you have all your positions right. But I was like, I can't even find, like, I want 3 contracts at a price that's really good, and I couldn't really find one for Neo. So I just had I'm just going to be watching that right now.
Okay. Yeah, I've been with them, and I just keep buying.
Yeah.
And then I had, I'm curious about this Blackberry. I'm getting ready to dump it or not. Just I've made a lot of money, but I didn't expect to, and now it's like obvious, like this can't be real.
So once again, this was a gentleman that's in Blackberry that I was referring to earlier,
Mm.
and yes, like it's overextended, but
You think 20?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
It's probably like I don't know all of his background news, so I can't speak.
Yeah, I've been reading, and like I read one. Now, but I only try to read the negative ones because all the positive is all like, oh yeah, they have all this technology, and they do. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know how good their entertainment system is inside of these cars, and but I do know they're good for enterprise. But I could see it keep going because of the trend, but it just seems outrageous right away. This is their highest in, I forget what it was, 20 years.
Yeah, it's been some time, some decades.
It's been decades, at least 10 years, but I think 20.
can I say something?
Yeah.
All right. While the charts are very important for entry, most of the stock market now is running based on sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we look on stock and say that, then I remember when we had the corona came in and the market crashed. As soon as it started, I think it was like 333, something like that. When it crashed, 333, 334.
Mm-hmm.
And it crashed. And from the moment it came up way about 328, everybody's talking about it gonna crash again. It's gonna crash again. And as soon as it reached 330, it's gonna crash again. In time it reached 333, it's gonna crash again. And look where it is today.
Mm-hmm.
All Kramer and all of those guys and everybody's saying that they put article on Google and said that it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down.
Yep.
Right. And everything is running off sentiment. So while it's very important for us to enter based on the charts, everything is done, because if you feel that it's not going to go any further, all it need to take it to keep the RSI over 80 for a week is some good news.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it needs.
That's it. I'm with you. I know that.
It's mostly sentiments now.
Yep. And the $2 extra trillion that are about to go.
Of course. All they want to hear about is money.
Yeah. I mean,
more money gonna pour in.
It's gonna, because I already know like everyone is putting their money in this stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. So the charts are kind of irrelevant in a lot of ways, but there's obviously within a certain time frame, you can gauge what's happening for.
Yes, it provides nice entry because, for instance, as Jermaine was discussing a while ago, when he was talking to, I don't remember her name, he was talking to the lady. Sharing. Sometimes, because look what they did with Palantir.
Mm-hmm.
Look what they did, and I keep on telling Jermaine that what they did, they know that something very important was going to come up. When I was younger in this, as soon as I see the stocks start to go down, I sell out.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a financial school for about 3 days, and I saw Kramer on a private interview was saying that when he was a hedge fund manager, that doesn't come on CBS or CBNC, whatever. And he said when he was an hedge fund manager, all they did was, if they know that something good is going to happen, they just pay one of those analysts or one of those guys on the same station there, and they just come up with some bad news about the stock.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say it, everybody sell out of it. They spend $1 million to bring it down.
For sure.
Because of the good news that is about to come the next week or 2 weeks after.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are at the lower end of the rope and you see everybody coming down the rope, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
You would run.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna brave it. So that's what all of us do whenever they do that. And as soon as they get to the level that they want, here comes the institution and they gobble up everything. And I told Jermaine that was the same thing they did with Palantir, because they know that Palantir gonna be one of those stocks that's gonna be just like Twiller. And they try and allow an analyst to come out and say that Palantir doesn't worth more than $15, and everybody run out of it. And look what happened Friday. They do the same thing with FUBO, because they know FUBO gonna be the next Roku or Netflix. And that's the same card they have been playing with us retail investors. So don't watch, sometimes don't even watch that.
Well, I only try to look for the it's just like all the good news scares me, and when I see the bad news, that's when I start getting more interested usually.
Yes, because that's what they use on us retail traders.
Yeah, exactly.
Scaring us away.
That's all they want to do.
Yeah, they talk about the RobinHood guys so much, and they don't realize the depths of research, just like what we're doing now. The depths of research that some of those guys go through to come up with a stock. And then they try to tell us that it's not gonna work, and eventually it worked.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
It works. A lot of those guys are millionaire, young guys, younger than us. They are millionaires.
Oh yeah, I mean in crypto it's always the end of the world or the moon, for sure.
That they're talking all kind of nonsense about Bitcoin, and at the end of the day, they are gobbling up all of the Bitcoin as it goes down.
Exactly that. So like the more negative, I'm like, all right, great.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. It's just institution doing all the buying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just follow the sentiments. Just make sure that you're in and you're out.
Well, I know. Yeah. I'm debating because I'm at the greed mode and I'm already, earn more than I could ever imagine from this thing. So I'm just like, all right, it's time to let it go. But I already know it could keep moving. And these are those moments of the greed taking over. And I am watching myself.
Yeah. I know you want your winners to run, and that's what we want. Yeah. We want our winners to run, but we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
When is the top?
And the point is to not care about the top, but to know
there's no top.
There is no top.
Believe me, there's no top, because it's scarce. There's no top.
Well, I don't know, but I have a feeling that Blackberry is going to have this resistance at $15. Between 15 and 16, maybe it can go higher.
Yeah,
but I see there's going to be some fighting between 15 and 16.
Well, that's fine with me. Fighting around 15, 16, I got in around 7 something. So
right,
15 will be good. 14 even. Like I thought it was going to hold at this 14, but so I'm just curious about that Monday. But it has a lot of potential still.
It still has potential. Yeah. Just know that when it does pull back, it should go back up. On the hour chart, it's showing that there's still some squeezing on the upside.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm suggesting that $16 area, and then where does it fight from there?
Awesome. Yeah, that's very helpful.
Because we tried Airbnb before, and that was another one that I thought about getting in on Friday.
Oh,
and here it is. Once again, right? Like it's about to retest its high. And
fuck, I'm in on the ABNB too.
What time frame, Johan?
This is the hour, 1 hour.
Hour time frame, and what you're doing? ABNB.
Yeah, I'm looking at
what's the symbol?
ABNB.
ABB.
ANBB. ABNB.
Yeah, A Nancy B.
ABNB. Okay.
Airbnb.
If you look on the hourly, what you see happening there? It has been consolidating, and now we start to go up again.
Right.
So this look very good right here.
Yeah.
It look good, and look at the you don't have the stochastic, you have the MACD. Look at the MACD. It started to print another green there. It's on the zero line and it start to print another green. Plus the RSI is the RSI is at 60.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that look very good there.
The only thing that worries me, which it probably will do, is just consolidate.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Exactly.
breaking out of the consolidation.
It should test this 185 area.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's breaking out on my chart here where my candles are different. I have different color candles that show me when it's moving up or down.
Because once it
And
breaks 180, once it breaks 180, $180, 180,
yeah, it's breaking out there. It's breaking out of the consolidation,
it has to.
going up.
Yeah, and I've been buying and selling this one since it came out. And this was not, I was down, and then it did this, and this is what I was waiting for. But it feels like with Corona and all this, the vaccine, they have a pretty good take on this.
Yeah, it's breaking out. It'll seem look like it's gonna break the high to me. The high, which is 180, 188, 188.05, something like 50, somewhere there.
42.
Yeah.
So it should this is just going to go higher.
Yeah, everything is above the zero line. Everything is above the zero line. The RSI is way up reasonably. The MACD cross over the zero line. The squeeze look good. It's not overdone yet. That's on the hourly. And it's just about to cross. Remember we talk one of the time about the stock crossing over the 9 period.
Yeah.
So it closed above it, and it just enters. So it's just bouncing off there now. And if you look below before the last move, it was right as it crossed over the 9 period right there, where the RSI, the MACD print is first green above the zero line. Before the last move, right there.
What Fitz is referring to when he says the nine line, that's that exponential moving average.
Yeah.
Put it at 9. I use 5, but as long as when it's trading above it, like he just said,
yeah,
it's just trading above that exponential moving average, it's going to go higher.
Gonna go higher. If you do the back test, you will see that as soon as the stock go over because that's the exact time the MACD crossover too.
And that's why, Tanisha, I said using the moving averages, it helps. It's a lagging indicator, right? It's lagging indicator. The price action is the only real-time indicator to all these stocks.
Gotcha.
But when you have the moving averages, they kind of give you an idea of where the price could be in the future time. So, let's say, all right, I wanted to get in on Airbnb before it breaks out, right? Before it breaks out. So I wanted to retest this 178 price because that's the 20 SMA. It's trading right now. It's trading above the EMA right now. It's exponential, right? So when the market opens, it could continue to trade up higher and retest its previous Friday's high of that 185. If it does that, and it shows that it's overbought on the minute time frame or even on the hour time frame, it's going to pull back and retest the moving average. If it can't hold the moving average price, then it's going to retest, or it's going to test the 20 moving average. If it can't hold this price, then it's going to test the 20 or the 200 simple moving average. So that's the logic of it. So that's why I said, if I were to get in, I would want it to play somewhere near the 20 SMA before it shows some bounce or upside. Maybe this consolidation happens during the pre-market and it doesn't break 182.20, that resistance area.
But you know, this is squeezing right there.
Yep.
You know,
This
that's
is,
a squeeze right there, right?
yeah, it's squeezing with the
Squeezing right
selling,
there, yeah.
with selling as the base, but there's buying happening at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of buying right there. That's squeezing. That's when it's low. That's when the volatility is low.
Right.
They can't go nowhere. The only place they can go is get high from there. The squeeze
Gotcha.
is when the volatility is low. So when the volatility expand, that's when it begin to give the cayenne color.
This is the cayenne color.
Cayenne color. And the MACD is above the zero line. If you notice that the MACD is above the zero line,
Mhm.
MACD is above the zero line right there.
The MACD. This is the zero line.
Zero line, and the green that the last that the print was a green.
Yeah.
And that is above the 9 period right there.
Mm.
So everything look good. The market is not down either. I think when they started out in the 6 o'clock, it didn't go up a whole lot, but it's in the green. Futures. If you type in this futures, it mean /ES mini at the top there, you'll realize that I think the market is.
Yeah, the S&P mini futures.
Oh shit!
Yep. So
Yeah, it's up $120. Isn't that so?
And this is on the hour chart. So like,
yeah, and this is on the hour chart.
They're showing that there should be some breakout that will happen in the morning.
Yeah.
Like even here, like once again, the TTM squeeze. See, this is the only thing I don't particularly like about Airbnb. That you see that even though the histogram is coming down here on this is the S&P 500 index, right? So you see that the cyan is coming down and it's coming towards the x-axis. This is the only thing that I worry about with the TTM squeeze is that the histograms turn to red. Now, I did not read any of Airbnb's news, right? I do know that real estate people are like people who have homes, like who've had homes for the past 10, 20 years, they're not really selling their homes as much. At least that's what the report said back in November. But there are people still buying. So those who are buying and they're using some of their homes, their new homes for income property, that's where Airbnb will definitely benefit. But if people are, if the supply of homes start to slow down, then we'll have to start thinking about what will happen with the homes that are already purchased. Will they be used as only homes or income property with the use of Airbnb? So that would be the only thing I could really think of, but I still think of how this TTM squeeze is coming close to the zero line. And if it flips where the histogram colors become red, or well, it'll become yellow first, then become red. Maybe not. It'll become red first, then turn yellow. Actually, yeah.
Which one? Which one? That's Airbnb right there.
Yeah, Airbnb.
That's a squeeze there.
Yeah, I'm not saying that
Not
it
going
can't go
down.
up.
It's a squeeze.
I'm not saying that it can't go up. I'm saying that when history is repeating that it's coming close to the zero line, and because it's coming close to the zero line, that it still could pull back. I'm not saying that it's going to pull back all the way, but I'm saying that you might be able to buy at a dip before it goes back up. And that dip might happen during the pre-market hours, like at 4 a.m. where people are up.
Right.
I'll be like, yo, y'all don't sleep?
Wait, I thought the market didn't open until 7 or something.
No, it opens early.
Well, it depends on the currency, right? The type of currency.
It depends how much money. It depends on what type of account you have. I mean, yeah, it's opening early for in the morning.
That's good to know. I'm always up at that
A
time.
A lot of people make their money and before the market open at 9:30. That's what I heard.
Best time to make your money. It's really crazy, and you get to so much action going on.
I'm surprised German told me that you don't have to sign up for it. You just do it and think or swim.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Thinkorswim, all right, so each
Oh, wow.
platform has its availability of when they are open to the market. So Webull is 4 a.m.
Exactly.
Thinkorswim,
Ask about we
Thinkorswim is 7 a.m.
Okay.
Oh,
right? So and E-Trade, I believe, is 7 a.m. unless you get the E-Trade Pro, then it's 4 a.m.
Mm.
I didn't know, because there are times when I watch my stock up, and by the time the market to open, it would go right down when I could have closed it out before.
Yeah, usually, like a lot of times when there's pre-market activity, because I used to trade when it was pre-market activity, like the overnight swing. I know that it's going to go up, and at 7 a.m., I already have my sell order, and that is exhausting. When I was like, yo, this is exhausting. I can't really, like, I could, but I don't want to do it, particularly if you know that you don't have really control at 4 a.m., right? You have no control of what's happening at 4 a.m. I've seen stocks spike
Yeah.
at 4 a.m., create a new high, but because the stock creates a new high, it pulls back when 7 a.m. would come, and then it continues to pull back when the market comes because it created its all-time high.
Yep.
Once it does that, it has to test the 200 SMA on that time frame. So that's where it becomes pretty difficult when trading during the pre-market times.
And I think they only accept limit order at the time, right?
It's limited. The thing is that if you had a position and you needed to, and you were aware, like, all right, let's see what's happening now. I've definitely been screwed out because of those morning hours, and you would be able to offload your gains for sure if you get that.
If you had it like from the night before.
Yeah, like you had the night before or whatever, and you didn't get out, you didn't want to get out, but you're seeing what's happening, you can get rid of it because it becomes obvious.
I didn't know, because I watch my stock go up all the time, and when the market, I wait until the market open and it went back even lower.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I lose like everything plus some.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely been in that position, and those earlier hours can be critical.
Wow, I didn't.
Now remember, you can't do that with options.
No, I know.
No, not with options.
I'm not with options. I hardly trade options now. I just because of my platform, I don't, they have some issues. I have some issues with them, so I don't bother much. I just buy the shares.
I like shares. I've done the options. I've done well. I've done very not well. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it caused the heartbeat to go like 50% more in it.
Yeah,
The option thing there.
It'll grow gray hairs.
When it begin to go against you, it caused the heartbeat to blood pressure to raise.
Yeah, I don't need that.
I don't need that. I think I feel more comfortable with the shares because I know I own them forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
you can exercise the options, and I've done that, and that has worked out. So you can buy, as long as you can afford to buy them.
Right.
It can be not the worst deal in the world, because sometimes you're just a little bit off, and you can just hold on to it by executing.
Yeah, maybe I have to learn the yoga thing like German to keep the blood pressure normal.
That's it. That's how we met. So it's very critical. But I will tell you, I've been like meditating sometimes, and an hour later I come back and I'm like, oh, whoops. So you never know.
That's true.
All the meditation's gone.
Yeah.
That meditation helped after Palantir because I was mad. I was mad that day on Friday.
It tricky, man. It tricky.
It could go up. It's just that I would breathe. I would meditate. At the same time, I'm looking at it, and the indicators are saying that it was going to pull down further until it started to hold support at the 200 SMA, and that's where on the hour chart, and that's where I failed to look at before selling.
There you go.
I believe it, Jermaine. I told you what they were doing.
Yep.
And I believe in it because
I believed you. I believed you. That's why I ended up buying it.
Okay, I told you what they're doing, man.
Yeah.
The same thing with FUBO.
I have FUBO. That one, I have FUBO and WWE. Those two are my favorites right now.
Mhm.
Oh, I know.
There's one suggestion that I would suggest to your friend there, the lady that you were talking to earlier on.
Yes.
The stocks that are so expensive already. If you're thinking of long-term investment, many of them don't have a whole lot more to go. They might go up, but they're not, but if what just like plug and smaller stock like that has great potential, fuel cell, and some of the ones that Jermaine talk about that are just coming into the industry now. If you're thinking about long-term buying and holding, maybe it would be nice if you focus on the cheaper ones who have a lot of potential
Mm.
to go up, like fuel cell.
On
Fuel
that
cell.
note, on that note, there are some, whatever, I'm following Mercado Libre. It's MELI, and I've been investing in them, and it's a long-term investment, but they are the Amazon of Latin America.
Right.
They just keep going, and Amazon's not really allowed in South America. So like they're in the crypto sphere because they're doing digital payments, and with the biggest risk on this company is that the currencies in Latin America are terrible and dangerous and volatile. Like Argentina's lost like, I don't know, 3/4 of their wealth, and Brazil like worse. So it's like, this is one of the dangers of it. But overall, I've been following them. It's an expensive company, but I bought it 16. And it looks like a nice growth company, and it's expensive.
Well, I'm gonna follow it.
About Gevo,
Gevo,
GEVO.
GEBO.
Yeah, that's like $10. Yeah.
Same area like plug, and
they don't have that one on Cash App.
Yeah,
to have it.
Another one.
I mean, I have other apps. I have Weeble. I just haven't tinkered around with it, and I need to set up fully my stash. So I have some homework to do.
Gevo.
Yep.
I had Gevo. For me, Gevo was $1 something.
Nice.
You said GEBO, right?
Yeah.
V is in Victor.
Oh, let me try again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that a charging company?
No, it's alternative energy.
Yeah, they don't have it on
it's
Cash
not.
App.
They don't do charging stations. I thought I read something.
No, they do the same thing like hydrogen. Fuel. They basically in that space, the same space like with plug and fuel cell. And also this little one here, FR. I've been Jermaine and Jermaine not loving it, and it went up a whole lot last week. FRX.
Yeah, I remember them. I have them in my my watch list. Like, yeah.
You're just looking at them.
Yeah, last week they like I said, I liked them, but I also did say that they could pull back because they made their all-time high. That was on the when we talked about it, was on the 15th. So like, yeah, it's gonna break out. And it did, but it was going to pull back. So it still has room. I think you had a better one with CIIC. That one is coming up pretty soon, and I feel like it could break out.
I told you I have about 4 wives, man, plus the one at home now. One of them named PLTR. The next one is CIIC, FUBO. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking of marrying to Jiva too. So I'm gonna have a whole lot. I don't know how I'm gonna manage, but
James mentioned Mercado, but you remember JMIA. Now I didn't even know that it went up more. And one of my friends, I told them to buy it. They did buy it, and I didn't even know that it went up higher.
Wow.
JMIA is the African Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yes.
I'm checking that out. That sounds great.
Yeah, that's the African Amazon.
Awesome.
It's owned by one of those. I think one of those rich Indian guy.
It's a I think it was French.
Ah, okay.
Someone in France owns the company, but they're operating it all out.
German is German.
German.
German?
German.
Okay.
Obviously. Well, who else?
Right.
Well, the Chinese, but
Right. It could. If it was even Chinese, at least that would make some sense because
that would make sense. But German,
Yeah.
I guess they had like one Nazi country.
Right.
Um,
It's a shame.
I remember we were talking about cannabis stocks, but there is a new psychedelic ETF coming out, and I'm very
psychedelic?
interested in it. Called CIIC PSYK, Horizon Psychedelic Stock, and I don't know if they're coming out, so they're shit. Wait,
You said PYSK?
PSYK.
It's not out yet.
Yeah, it's coming.
Coming.
And, I would pay attention to that because the psychedelics are the next.
Yeah, I agree. There was one stock that you had before. It was a CMPS.
CMPS, yeah.
Wow. And here it goes. So like, here
Yeah.
goes another one. That's a recent IPO that James was in on. It made its new high, pulled back like it's tend to do. It's creating a new buying opportunity.
Absolutely. It's
creating a
been
new buying
definitely,
Yeah, look at that. There's a lot of accumulation right there.
Yeah.
What time frame you was on a while ago?
That was on the daily, 1 day, one candlestick.
Yeah. So as your friend was asking a while ago, when they on the TTM squeeze there, the red going down is the buying. When they change to yellow, that is when selling. When the red going down cross below the zero line, which there, it's selling. When it come up there, that's when buyers, when it changed to the yellow, that's when buyers came in right there, and the volatility become low, where the red bubbles start to come up there. If you notice right on the volume, the candle color begin to change to green.
The volume candle. This is the volume.
Yeah, the volume candle begin to change to green. That is showing buyers coming in right there. And look on the other indicators. The MACD is about to cross over right there.
Yeah. So this one also looks like one to definitely watch. I like
the PSYK is coming out the 26th.
Okay, February.
No, January.
Oh, okay, good. Got it.
So yeah, it's gonna happen this week, I believe, and I mean that's a nice. They're an ETF, so they're a lot more, a little less risky than.
One of the good thing about this, what one we're looking at, CMPS, right? That's the one we're looking at a while ago.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the good thing, the MACD is crossing below the zero line, which give it a lot of ability to move.
A lot more upside.
A lot more upside.
I agree.
Plus the RSI is just at 42. So it looks like it have a long way to go. If this begin to move, this is gonna go very, very high.
Yep, 55 is the next resistance wall once it breaks 50. I'm trying to remember the volume behind it, how much. So 200,000, 190,000, 311,000. So it's not like a whole lot of volume, and I believe it's a relatively low float.
That's right.
Yeah, 35,000. So this can move just like how WWE.
Yeah, it don't take a lot to move it.
Doesn't take a lot to move it. I've been in WWE since that Thursday and it's held it. And so right now it's doing all that I wanted to do. I think I'm already in the money. I wanted to go to 60. It's going to pull back. I know it's going to pull back, but this is going to be one of those runner runs. So just like how Campus just crossed, just like how Campus crossed on the MACD and the RSI, these are low entry points. Those are
Mhm.
very, very low entry points to get in on. I would love to get in on that one now. like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's another ETF I like, which I've been holding, and it is this low volume, but when you catch it and you see there's a nice drop, is LRNZ, LRNZ, and it's just steady.
Oh, yeah. Slow and steady does
Slow
it.
and steady. It's
Yeah,
like just I'm
steady.
just like I trust it. It's artificial intelligence. That's the future.
I like the way you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be forward thinking.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
If you get AI and the psychedelics together, man.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Put the alien artificial intelligence on psychedelics, and we
I'm
are.
just thinking of everyone who's using like their AI, like what's the Oculus, the Oculus.
Oculus, yeah.
They're taking their own psychedelics, and
Uh,
oh man, I can imagine the experience on that will be all time.
Yeah, but this would have to be a long-term thing because
This
the
is long
volume is
term.
very low.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
low volume, but I've been following it, and I buy the drops.
Okay.
And it's just like I understand AI is moving up.
Okay.
And it is long term. It's like, all right, put it in when you have some money and keep it moving, like when you can, just on the drops.
Okay.
Because it's just like if you look at the graphs, they're just like these, like flat zones. It's like stepping, it's like a ladder.
Yep.
It's just.
Well, it looks like it has a potential of like gapping up tomorrow. It has this bullish engulfing.
Yeah,
pattern.
it's been building up some flow for sure.
Cross, yeah. Like
All right. I want you guys to look on this little one here, EARS, and tell me what you think. EARS.
yeah. EARS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my no, it was on my watch list. I think it's no, I had eyes.
On the daily. On
Yeah.
the daily, and look.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Look like it can gap up. Look like
That looks so good.
yeah.
It looks very good.
Very good.
I just get burned a lot in this field.
You know why?
No, I don't.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because they're all buying right around in the after hours, fucking up the stock price.
That's it.
They're buying and selling during that time.
That's it.
And when it's time for the market to actually open, it continues to crash. But this type of chart pattern where it's just flat picking because of reverse splits and stuff like that, you anticipate them actually coming out with, because I would imagine this is a low float.
Yeah.
So I love low floats. I love low floats just because of these spikes. But because they'll have a spike like that, let's say in the morning, 4 a.m. is going to gap up. It'll be like around 5:20, 5:25. And then like around 7, it might go to 6. But once it starts coming around 8, the price is going to start pulling back. And that's the thing with some of these low floats. When you do play them, you're anticipating that when the market opens, that it's still high, so that you can be able to at least sell your price at a higher price. But now that we know that you have accessibility during the pre-market, you can sell during the pre-market at 7 a.m. and don't have to really worry. So if you're in it, I hope that you got a good price.
No, I'm not in it right now. I'm just looking on it and it look good.
It definitely does.
Yeah,
It looks good.
Yeah. As I told you Friday that I bought an AMC call, the $3 call for 2022.
I did the AMC also. That was fun.
Yeah.
No, Fitz
AMC.
is in it, and it does look like it has some upside now.
It went up
might,
Friday.
Yeah, it did. I made the profit and I don't believe in it at all. So it can keep going because of the, like you're saying, sentiment and so on.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, but it's purely, hype.
Yeah.
It doesn't get a lot of help to sustain it until the as soon as they begin to stick a lot more people, everybody's gonna be back outside.
Yeah.
So I'm betting on that. So that's why I give it until 2022.
Yeah, that's a good enough time.
There
That's
you
why,
go.
like, I don't blame you. When I saw that 2022, I was like, that's smart. That's
Yeah. 362 days.
Okay.
And it's already up. It's already up. So what's the worst thing that can happen?
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would the same go for, I guess, probably like the what's WH Wyndham Hotels and Resorts in the future when things open back up again? Because they
all of those going up. All of those gonna go up. You're gonna miss the train if you don't catch it early.
Yeah, I forgot what Wyndham.
I think it's just WH by itself. I think.
What is it?
H.
Oh, WH. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. I was thinking why.
People want to travel. I don't know. Do they want to go to the movie theater? They didn't want to go before.
Remember, half of America don't believe in wearing masks.
So that's true, but half of the
74
market,
74
like
million.
most of the theater market is Latino, and I just maybe they're gonna go watch movies. But
as soon as people get a break, they're gonna go on vacation. They're not gonna have place to contain them.
Well, right. Vacation, I believe in.
Yes, they're gonna be on cruises. They're gonna be all over.
The theaters is my only. I'm just questioning because I'm in the movie business and I look at the movie industry and it is theaters are on their way out. So, and I don't know what AMC is doing in terms of a business, in terms of like, I understand the excitement and the reason why it could go up, but as a longer term, I'm just a little afraid of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not in forever, I just give it a long time for it to
Sure. I think that they've had these moments, and I think they're a popular stock, and I'm with you on it. I just was scared.
Yeah, that's not a marriage right there. Just for
that's a Tinder date.
Good news.
That's a Tinder date.
Yeah,
not even a Bumble date. That's Tinder.
No. I already have FUBO, PACB.
You got enough wives.
This one is a good one for your.
You need a nice mistress. She's good.
Yeah. This is a good one for your lady friend to go into PACB.
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 You love that one.
Yeah.
Love that one.
PACB, Palantir, FUBO.
Wow.
And CIIC. That's
PACB, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm looking at, and I just got into Two Cows, TCX.
TCX?
Yeah.
Two Cows. Oh, okay.
They're old school.
What are they about?
They're domain names, basically registering your, and they're an old company and they're growing. And they're always useful. It's like, where are they gonna?
They're buying back a lot of stocks. 400 million stock buyback. That was December 2nd. And whenever they're buying back stocks.
Too.
Oh, but they are low flow too.
They're a lower flow like investment tool. But I see that they seem to be moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
So I had to jump in.
Okay.
Not mad about that one.
And are people on? I know I've been into SPG, but I remember hearing people talking about it, and I have it. But I'm wondering what people think with the.
Yes, that was another one I wanted to get in on Thursday. But I was more
Simon Property.
WWE.
Yeah, they're a giant mall, and they've been buying up like Brooks Brothers, and They host a lot of the New York City's finest department stores and so on.
Hmm.
Are you buying these for long term or are you buying options?
I've had it long term, and
Okay.
you know, I took the loss during the crash.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm deciding now, is it worth holding on to or not? Because I'm in, you know, I'm well ahead. It has a dividend,
Yes.
so I'm fine with it. But you know, I'm a little weary about shopping malls. I know that Amazon was talking to them about like turning them into warehouses or whatever. You know, like
The big
Exactly.
box stores that are like going like JCPenney that's done turning.
exactly.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah. That's the main reason why I would hold on to it.
Mhm.
Because if, let's say, Amazon end up buying out Simon Property Group, we
Right.
don't know how much they would pay for it. They're definitely not going to undervalue Simon Property Group. They've been around. They're a well-established company.
Oh yeah, and they're buying well-established brand names.
Exactly.
So that's been my feeling, and that's why I'm holding it. But it's been it was a long road to take that loss, and I
feel you.
yeah.
I feel you. I was in this before when it was at $89
Mhm.
and selling. It was like after their earnings. I remember this one, and I was hoping to get in sooner, but got distracted with other plays like Neo and XPEV, and
Well, those are excellent plays.
yeah.
This is not that type of investment.
Okay.
I think it has plenty of room to grow, but I'm you know, I am debating, but it feels like with what's happening now, and people will want to go doing stuff.
You know, I'm not a fan of the popular stocks like Neo, Peloton.
Mm.
I'm not a fan of those.
Because
Somehow I never bought those. Never.
wow, I mean, Neo wasn't always popular,
No.
Yeah.
but once it gets popular and you hear about it, you're not trying to get in on the hype.
Yeah, I never bought the popular one.
Neo will be over $100 a share before the end of the year.
I believe it. And I was talking to some Chinese people in China, and it's a good car. People like it out there.
Yeah. Like this one, I would love to have this one in my portfolio.
Which one?
Neo.
Oh
Neo,
man,
okay.
I would love to have it back.
I'm not going to show you my portfolio.
I sold it on this day. This was on that day. Hold on. Yeah, it was that day because I didn't have it. I sold it when on the high.
Okay.
Into Monday. Hold on. Now I have to look at my notes just to make sure I'm not speaking wrong. But essentially, like I had it, and I had it when it gapped up.
Mm-hmm.
That weekend from the Friday going into the Monday. Or was it LI? No, I'm sorry. I confused that with LI. I'm sorry. I had LI when it gapped up.
Yeah, Neo has been incredible, and I've been following that one for a while. And I like I said, I keep getting in and out because it has those moments, but it's just feels like people because they have they're doing the same business model as Tesla, and they're charging, you know, they're making the high end people pay for the lower end models, basically. You know, they start out with that high end consumer, and then it's just they're going to work their way down, and you know, they're charging basically the same as a Tesla in China.
No, you're absolutely right. That's why I know like it's going to do well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I agree, but as I said,
I feel you.
it's not my thing. I like CIIC. I mean, Neo's gone too far for me already. And I have too many lovers. Too many lovers.
No, I'm with you on CIIC.
We live in a cult world at this point. It's all cults.
Pretty much.
Join the cult, man.
I rather the new girl.
No problem. No problem. I'm with you. I'm very scared. I'm ready to just get rid of it personally, but I know it's still going.
Yeah, because Neo has reached a little distant. This guy, this girl here now, CICC, IIC,
Mhm.
she had just started out, and then she already have billions of dollars in contract.
Yep.
Mm.
Billions.
Yep.
So Fitzroy, Fubo is one of your longtime girls you're keeping around.
Yeah, not letting her go.
I agree.
Doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what the people say. I'm not gonna let go.
No matter what they talk about her, you keep.
Yeah, I'm not letting her go.
FUBO.
She's a good girl.
And, but have you seen their product?
Yeah, I go on YouTube and
Uh-huh.
and I see some of the program there. It's you FUBO is the one who's responsible for them, and plus, you know, when I read up information everywhere I can get it, it sounds real good.
Mm.
So I think that institution is playing a little game there.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing a little game to see what they can do every now and then, because it did very well this week, the week on. Remember FUBO went down to 23?
Yeah,
Remember it went
did.
down to $23
It
after
did.
it went up to 60.
Yep.
Oh,
And look
yeah.
at it now.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like I haven't been aware of it. It looks like I like what they're doing for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
It's
there's
like
no way
Roku.
that that's not growing.
that's
FUBO-
like Roku.
Exactly. You took the words right.
Yeah.
out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Took the word right. FUBO is one of those stocks that like are companies that when you got the Fire Stick, that was an available app. That's
Yeah.
how I knew about it.
And
Because I was like, oh, I have the Fire Stick, and I would use FUBO. Now that you can gamble off of FUBO,
yeah,
like, it just makes it more of a
Uh,
viable reason on why to buy in.
they bought Balto.
hmm
That's amazing. Yeah, because I didn't know. I was just saying, like, wow, do they gamble? And then you're saying they gamble, and that's it.
Sports betting is available because that's what that app was for. It was for sports,
Yeah,
particularly.
exactly. And if they do crypto, then it's all over.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my God.
There's now I know that what NFL player just got paid in Bitcoin, and there's a soccer league. They're doing the whole entire roster through crypto.
I still don't know how that works. Like, because I don't want my paycheck to decrease when
Well, so it doesn't have to if it's converted right away into a stable coin, then it builds interest. But what also happens is your whole contract history, and they're talking about taking this from high school. So like your name can be on a blockchain, and you can follow your stats for the rest of your life, basically. And
it's
it's
some Black Mirror shit.
well, it's all Black Mirror shit. Yeah, we're on psychedelic AI, so
There we go.
it's gonna get crazy. But gambling, I mean, that's what it's all about now. No one's making money working. Gambling and stocks and all this. This is where people are putting their time into.
Facts. Right.
And sports, yeah.
You ain't lying. As I have the Kansas City Buffalo game on, you're
Oh shit. There you go. Yeah.
You guys don't talk a lot about PACB, but this is one of the genomics.
Yes.
Oh, I had a
That's
question.
genomics. And out of the 4 of them, it is the cheapest one. And recently, SoftBank bought 6% share in it.
Who is it?
SoftBank.
No. The company. That's I know SoftBank.
PACB.
PACB.
And ever since that, it has been going up. Do a little pullback, but
No, on Monday it's gonna do something crazy tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's gonna do something crazy tomorrow. Like I see it. It's gonna do. I'm looking on the hour chart.
yeah.
This shit is gonna do something crazy.
Mhm.
This shit right here. This is not like Airbnb.
This is a long time hold.
It's at the lower part of Air. Like, all right, so if we look at this in Airbnb, we see that Airbnb is already kind of closer to the RSI, like the overbought on the RSI, and the consolidation is saying it's going to pull back a little bit before it goes back up.
Mm-hmm.
We look at PACB, it's already bouncing, right? It already crossed over on the squeeze. It already crossed back over. So now it's on the positive part of the zero on the x-axis, on the positive side of the x-axis. So now it's showing that it has more squeezability for buying on the upside. The RSI is nowhere near being overbought, and the MACD is approaching the x-axis to be up higher. Like PABC looks legit, like going into the week.
That looks legit. Can you look at CRISPR?
Yep.
Yeah, so CRISPR is in the same. It's the same.
The same, right?
Yeah, it's the same business, and it's to show you how those are that doesn't stop going up. Eat it.
No, I remember looking at them. I remember that going down at one point.
Yeah, but it don't go down for long. Same space. Eat it, CRISPR, PACB, and you have one more. And
there is
that
one.
one is the cheapest. Along with that, this little one that is coming up, BNGO. That's why you see people are so crazy over that.
What do they do?
Same in the genomics.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, but I don't like it. It's too volatile. I bought it and it bite me one time, so I just forget about it.
It said bite you. Yeah, damn, 100.
Yeah.
It's trading. Yeah, so its float must be big.
Good Lord.
Yeah, this is BNGO. Like this is
BINGO for sure.
Yeah, that is the move. So I know, what was it? You James, you had
CRISPR?
No, I know you said CRISPR, but I'm just comparing BNGO to Blackberry.
Oh, okay.
So you see how overbought it is, but it still has some squeezability on the histograms with the TTM Squeeze. BNGO kind of has the same thing, right? But even though it was showing that it was going to go up, squeeze up,
Yeah,
on some days, there were some volume days that were red.
that's right.
That volume day showed that it was going to pull back. So I guess that's probably one of the big indicators that you want to look on Blackberry, is how the volume might be on that day. Because if it's low volume and it's red candlestick, then it's pulling back.
Okay.
So that might be something, a clue.
Yeah, that's definitely a clue.
But CRISPR, like, look, it crossed on the MACD, so it's testing the 20 SMA price, which it did. Bounce off of that. So we'll see what tomorrow, if it has more selling onto the downside. If it like consolidates and goes sideways, actually, not.
That's what we've been gearing towards, that they're gonna consolidate, but they still have some. I mean, they're not going anywhere except up.
Yeah. Like the lowest I could possibly see it go is to its previous support price. Was that 180, 181?
Yeah.
Like if it holds that, then, which it should, because that's all it's been doing.
Yeah, it's not gonna go lower than, not gonna go.
Yeah.
If it go down, it's maybe a day or two, but that's it. No longer.
Agreed.
It's going back up. That's what they do all the time. Even on PACB, it went over 40, and then it came back down a little bit, and then that's how it moved. Consolidate and it move again.
Yeah, I really like them on the hour chart. I could see them PACB. I could see it going up higher, but this will be one that I have to once again look into their background and see what news is moving it.
And for FUBO, what do you think is a good price to get in at this point?
Wow.
Because they look great.
Yeah.
I want to get married.
Hey man.
I think if it comes back to 36, you can definitely buy out some shares there at 36. But right now the key point is if it can break or hold above this 37.51 price.
But it's bouncing off the 9. If you notice, it's bouncing off the 9 too on the daily.
Correct. Like on the year chart, like the 1 day, 1 candlestick, if you buy anywhere, you're good. Like literally, it's going to go up higher.
For sure.
It's bouncing and it's very, wow, it looked good on the one day. Look at it.
Yep.
Look at the one day, because you know when you want to know what's going on, you have to look on the long term.
Right.
And see accumulating right up to its first bubble there, red bubble, the squeeze.
So we see that
Right
the
there.
histograms again
And
smaller.
the volume coming in. So long the we have red candles going down until the volume starts to come in right there.
Yep. And it's another relatively low flow. It's really 67 million shares the float is. However, the short sells, I think it was like 20%. So you're going to get fluctuations in the price intraday, but long term fits.
Yep. Long term,
this one is going to continue to go up higher.
Yeah, no, it looks like they're gonna keep moving.
Yep.
I don't see why they wouldn't. Yeah, Roku of sports. Come on.
look at Netflix last week.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that they couldn't go any further. Look what happened.
Yep.
Wow.
Right after their earnings.
Yep.
Right after their earnings.
And it didn't go up. It didn't go up and come down. It stayed right up there.
Yep.
Right. Would you get? Are they too popular for you to invest in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not at that price. Not after it went up $70. And the buying is coming down.
I don't trust Netflix.
The good thing about Netflix, if you catch it in the right direction, man.
That's right.
you're a very happy
Absolutely.
guy.
That's for sure.
And
If it's low, you buy it for sure.
Yes.
I'm not saying I haven't ever had a little fling with Netflix, but I'm scared of that one.
Well, out of the big names that are going to be doing any of their earnings this upcoming week, Apple will be breaking out, has already started. So that'll be one to definitely look at if you haven't thought about putting in money into the stock, because it's gonna break out. I've been trying to catch it some ways after they did their reverse split, and I felt like every time I would just fail. I thought this last time I bought in at 116 was going to be it, and now it's at 140 actually after hours. So that will be one to definitely it still has upside. I think it has plenty of upside. It's going to pull back on the hour chart, but on the daily, it has enough room to go higher. So maybe Apple sees 200 before the end of the year.
Wow.
Maybe.
Aren't they stepping into Tesla's domain and trying to work on a car or something like that?
Yes.
They're gonna outsource the car and do the insides.
Oh, the technology.
They're doing it tech. They're not building cars. I think they're making a deal with Hyundai or Hunt.
Yeah, I believe it's Hyundai.
Hyundai.
I believe it's Hyundai. But even on top of that, a lot of it is doing with their phones now because of their 5G. There's a lot of people that are invested into their new phones.
And headphones or whatever.
And isn't Tesla trying to make a phone too now?
Say that again?
Isn't Tesla trying to make a phone too now?
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I read that.
Okay, why not?
Yeah, I thought it was to mess with Apple, since Apple wanted to try to step in the car domain. I'm like, all right, what's a phone?
That's funny. Yeah, the Tesla Model P phone concept.
Elon Musk is crazy.
He's crazy. He doesn't care. Was he from South Africa?
Yes, there's no limit for him.
That band's crazy with it.
But it's good crazy.
Yeah.
Good crazy for sure.
Yeah, good crazy.
Yeah.
Make a lot of people
remember, Apple has their semiconductors that they're providing for in-house. So they're no longer using, I think it was Intel that they had, or NVIDIA. There was Intel, I believe.
They're using Intel.
Now they're making their own semiconductors for their product.
They used to be as well. Like they had made a switch And now they're going back to their original.
No, that was the big report last week.
No, I understand. But before they were with Intel, they were making their own chips.
Oh, they were beforehand. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
and then they moved into the Intel world to make it easier. And I think that maybe the PC market is growing now.
Hmm.
But I don't know, like whatever. I'm a little bit of an Apple hater, but I know that they will always grow.
Agreed. I am an Apple hater too.
Yeah.
But I share your same sentiment.
Yeah. I just don't know that they'll grow like they used to, and I don't think that the car is the iPhone.
I'll be crazy. You talking to Siri in your car,
Ugh.
like Knight Rider.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
I mean, I think Tesla can fart for people.
Sure. It can fart, it can cook.
Kid never could do that.
All right, so this little company RESN, I know it's not well known, but this company here, it make parts for Apple. So you might not see information there, but somebody who did the research found that they make some of those technology parts for Apple. RESN. It's look like it's way over, but I mean, if you look at it, just going straight up, but that's what I thought when the price was much cheaper. So that's why I didn't want to buy it when I hear about it, but it continued to go up. If you look on the daily, it's going straight up. The hourly look good. RESN.
Yeah. No, I just added to my watch list, but I thought I had it before because I don't. But yeah, we like
keep
those
an eye on it.
We like those close assimilations, those close
Yeah.
companies to bigger companies that are potentially going to put out something positive.
Right. Whenever Apple if Apple move, this is gonna move too.
Yeah.
I don't do the earnings thing. I do it with NVIDIA. NVIDIA make 100 billion and the stock never move.
Oh yeah, video.
All the time it move, and the time I say I'm gonna buy it and keep it through earnings, and it make 100 billion and it never move.
I don't know, man. I've made like a lot off of that.
I don't know. I made a lot off of that.
I have to look. I have it on. I have to look how much that's gone up. That's a good stock, NVIDIA.
Yeah, I make money from it, but that time it never moved.
Oh, I see.
I did Microsoft, and it go through earnings and didn't move either.
Microsoft is an interesting one.
Yeah, so I don't bother with the earnings anymore. The only one I ever move in the earnings is JD, the Chinese one there.
JD, yeah.
Yeah, moving there, and I make money from that. So I don't bother with the earnings thing anymore.
Earnings is the worst thing that can happen to a stock.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, is it good or bad? It's all bad.
Yeah. How can you make $100 billion? You don't even move $5.
It's not.
That is hype of manipulation to me.
Yeah, earnings has nothing to do with the stock price.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I don't bother with it anymore. I cut them out.
But you're in JD right now.
Yeah.
Me?
James or Fitz. I don't know who said they were
JD, I mean, James is in.
Nice.
I've been in.
Nice. Now, I remember when I was starting to get afraid because I wanted to get in on something China, right? But when Jack Ma came up, like no one knew where he was.
Right.
I was like, wait, I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know. Because I've been wanting Alibaba for a while. And I know he's in that same space with Alibaba. And the last time we talked about Alibaba was back in like December, I think maybe late November, where I suggested that if it didn't cross 270, I think it was, that it was going to fall back down, and it did exactly that.
Yeah.
But just don't recall, Jack Ma ever being a part of that equation.
Right. I mean, he's not even president of the company anymore.
Right.
But the ant business is really what threw him off, and Trump. But I'm a big believer in it, but I've been doubting. I'm in the in the FUD world now.
Bud world.
FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Ah,
But I'm still like a very long and I'm very well married to Jack Ma.
Yeah, he's living in a different world from us, so you have to be careful what he says. He said something and the small high guy never like it.
Yeah, and
And said he just send him a message that you keep your mouth shut.
Has he ever been seen since he disappeared for the longest time?
Yes,
he
has
showed
been
up.
seen.
yeah.
But they have to change the way he talk.
Yeah, he's getting a little too big for himself.
Yes.
He's very big.